Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFXTV. I'm the WrestleGamer, WB Billy Pucho. As you guys can see, I have some guests with me. First off, he's the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, which can be heard exclusively on YouTube.com/HWR Show. He is the Illuminous one, the Shining Star, Rick Starr. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Billy. Thanks for having me.
Our resident music mogul is here. As you guys can see, he's right there. You know, he's from YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
And guys and gals, welcome back to WGS-TV, the owner of Classic Wrestling Association, Mr. Joseph Knight. Mr. Knight, welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing really well this cold December day.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got Monday Night Raw New Year coming up tonight, and one of the big rumors that's been floating around Facebook is the return of Brock Lesnar. Rick, what do you have on this story about Brock Lesnar coming back?
Well, it was just that he's supposed to be returning, and that he's supposed to be feuding with Mark Henry. One of the mini spoilers, I won't go too deep into it, is that sometime in SmackDown is that Big E is supposed to be gonna have something to say about that. Now, whether it's just a match or whether Big E, the feud is gonna continue on with Big E Langston, who knows? We also know right now that Big E Langston they're teasing a feud with Big E Langston with Roman Reigns of the Shield, and that's really starting to kind of build a little bit. So why they would pull him out of that and start a feud with Brock Lesnar, as big as Brock Lesnar is, I think that would make no sense. I think a feud with Brock Lesnar and Mark Henry would make a better sense to me. So that's just my personal thoughts.
Yeah, but Mr. Knight, I gotta ask you a question. If they really do go through with this, with Lesnar and Mark Henry, I mean, what point would that serve to the WWE? I mean, you have a big name star like Brock Lesnar. Wouldn't it make more sense to have him put over one of the young up and coming talents, like maybe a Damian Sandow or Dolph Ziggler or someone of somebody like that, instead of having him feud with Mark Henry?
Here's the problem with the WWE and its current talent. Taking nothing away from their athleticism. They're great workers, but they just don't have the it factor. They just don't have that charisma, that type of attitude that will make you want to watch. So the WWE's bringing back these older guys to kind of see what can be done to elevate these, their product. Remember, it's the product, not the individual they look at. Personally, I would have looked to try to build up Roman Reigns, more of the Shield members against these veterans. But again, that's WWE's only looking to better the product. And what better way to better the product by giving the fans nostalgia, bringing back classic wrestlers. Let's I hate to steal that pun, but that's what you're seeing. That's why they're depending on bringing back old talent.
Lance, let me ask you this question. Do you feel, in your opinion, that a Brock Lesnar, Mark Henry feud can bring in the ratings that the WWE needs right now?
Well, personally, as a guy that likes to see two what I call bull wrestlers, as in these big old, strong, jacked up dudes fight, I love watching that. Like Batista, Triple H at a WrestleMania a few years back, I love watching that. So for people like me that love watching that, yes. Because it's just like, those two got to be the only two guys can do that to each other.
Well, in my personal opinion, some of the things that were brought up again that we're just speculating on is of course, the return of Lesnar and a feud not only with him and Mark Henry, but with him and Big E Langston. I think, pulling Big E Langston away from the Roman Reigns storyline, because I think that would be a big mistake on WWE's part. Roman Reigns is getting really, really big in the WWE. I've said it for the longest time that, the dude really didn't look good to me, didn't look like he could sell very well, but he has proven me wrong over this past year, and he's really, really come on to his own, and almost like a shining star, no pun intended, of the Shield. Now, if they pull Langston away from that with Roman Reigns, I know there are probably be a lot of fans that would be angry over that, but also at the same time, you would have a big name talent like Brock Lesnar putting over a young gun, as it were, in the form of Big E Langston. And with that being said, I want to go into final thoughts on the return of Brock Lesnar on tonight on Monday Night Raw, as we do have a lot of background activity over here right now. Rick, what are your final thoughts about the return of Brock Lesnar tonight on Monday Night Raw?
Well, I mean, it's never going to get pops. It's never going to get ratings. But as far as what is fighting on, is going to going on with Mark Henry, I don't think it's going to be putting over Mark Henry. I think it's going to be more so putting over Brock Lesnar. Keep in mind, we also do have Batista coming over on the early horizon. So that's something we definitely got to think about. Brock Lesnar and Batista, I'd like to see these two bulls go at it. So those are two guys we want to see going at it. So,
Mr. Matt, what do you think are the chances of that happening, a Batista-Brock Lesnar match, possibly even in the works for possibly WrestleMania?
It can happen, but here's the one thing you guys have to remember, and it didn't really hit on me till just now. Brock Lesnar is a Paul Heyman guy, and what stops... That's one thing, they haven't done much with Paul lately because let's face it, his team of perfect Rybacks or whatever hasn't done anything. His stars haven't done anything for him. CM Punk has mostly been the biggest thing for him. What better way to revisit that storyline than bring Batista back in, bring back Brock Lesnar, and have a brand new Heyman stable.
Ooh.
I think that'll be much better. So they're not going to put these two monsters together. Is that to battle one another? I personally feel they're going to have them war against, other people as a new Heyman type, stable. And I think that's what the WWE needs. They're missing the Bobby Heenan stable. And Paul Heyman's the only one that can pull that off.
All right, now, Lance, what about what are your final thoughts?
Paul Heyman will play a point in that.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Definitely. What about this one? About how not just having them feud with Ryback, so especially Ryback, but how big would it be for Ryback's career if Lesnar came back and they had him put over Ryback instead of having him be destroyed by by Lesnar?
The way to get Ryback right out of the whatever Jobberville he's in now, that's exactly the perfect way. Because let's face it, Ryback now is a joke. It's a way to legitimize Ryback. So feed him Brock.
Yeah,
said.
Definitely, and that kind of utters my opinions about it. Again, we can see any kind of a number of directions of what WWE is going to use Brock Lesnar for. We heard the rumors about him and Mark Henry, and then of course the story about him and Big E Langston, and of course I still feel that's a mistake to pull Langston off of him and Roman Reigns, because that has really, really good potential to be a good angle for not only Langston, but also for Roman Reigns, who's really, really come onto his own as of late in the WWE. But then again, like I said, guys, we're just speculating as to, what could happen with the return of Brock Lesnar coming on Monday Night Raw tonight. But we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, what are your thoughts about the return of Brock Lesnar tonight on Monday Night Raw? What direction do you think he's going to be going in the WWE? We want to hear from you guys out there. Be sure you put your answers in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
Oh, of course, they can always check me out on my Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And anytime you want to check any of our videos out, head on over to our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/HWR Show. And please make sure you subscribe to us.
Lance, what can fans expect to see him to come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
A little bit of wrestling reviews, album reviews, NASCAR reviews when it's in season. Redneck Gourmet, that's my cooking videos, Q&As, and whatever else pops into my head. So come check me out and don't forget to subscribe.
Mr. Knight, where can fans go to find more information about Classic Wrestling Association?
Oh, wow, this is going to be a while. They can check us out at ClassicWrestlingAssociation.com. You can find us on Facebook as well at Classic Wrestling Association. You can find us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling CWA. Also on YouTube on CWA Classic Pro. And finally on Instagram at Instagram.com/Classic Wrestling Association. All one word.
Fans, also don't forget to submit your questions for the Q&A Ask the Wrestle Gamer right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer and on the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV, where recently gone up over 3,000 likes on WGS-TV. I want to send a special thanks to you guys out there for helping with that. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network. So, for the Illuminous one, the Shining Star, Rick Star, the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, and Mr. Joseph Knight from Classic Wrestling Association, I'm the Wrestle Gamer, Double B Billy Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.